Hello everybody, Steve Griffiths here, developer of the MTPredictor software program. In today's video, which is the first of 2017, so Happy New Year to you all out there, I'd like to start off by looking at our risk disclaimer and just remind you that all examples in these videos should be considered as hypothetical. No trades were taken. They are shown for illustration and training purposes only. Also remind you if there's a risk of loss in trading and investing. All professional traders know that losses can and will and do happen. I'll just remind you of that. Losses can and will and do happen. Alright, let's just minimize that down. In today's MTPredictor video, I'd like to look at the VS or volume spike setup we have. This is new in our up and coming MTPredictor 8, which is our new standalone version, and also in our current add-ons for NinjaTrader 7, as well as our current add-ons for NinjaTrader 8. And for you European users and people who are looking at the European markets, I'd like to look at a couple of great examples on the DAX that's unfolded this morning. In our new version 8 and our NinjaTrader add-ons, we have a new MTP trend indicator, which gives you the trend of the largest, or the color of the largest degree trend, or should I say the color of the MTP trend indicator gives the largest degree trend direction. It's blue for up, red for down, and black for basically no trend or a flat trend. So ideally we're looking to take trade setups in the direction of that trend. So I want to start off by looking at before we get onto our VS or volume spike setups, looking at this TS3 sell setup, because it's important to look at trades that are losses. There's nothing worse than software vendors who only ever look at winning trades. So this is where MTPredictor doesn't hide anything. You can do the analysis on these setups. If you right mouse click over the red cell bar, do analysis, this will give you where the entry would have been, where the stop would have been, also our position sizing. In this case, less than $20,000, or sorry, 2% on a $20,000 account. Note that even though we're trading the DAX, our position sizing is done in US dollars because this default account I've got is in US dollars. So we adjust the tick size in the background to be, rather than the normal, if I go to a euro account, the normal 12.5 euros, we adjust that in the background to basically be in dollars, so the position sizing is kept correct no matter what the base currency of the asset that you're actually trading. This is particularly good if you're trading Forex and you have different base currencies or different base cross rates. A good example here is because we're trading or the account's in dollars, the DAX is trading in euros, but our position sizing is brought back into US dollars. So this is actually a losing trade. As you can see here, you'd have been taken in at 604.5, and then you've been stopped out here at 612. Doing short two contracts for this 2% on a sample $20,000 account, you'd have lost just under $400. So I wanted to start with a losing trade. We call this one risk unit. In other words, you'd have had a losing trade here and you'd have been minus 1R down. Why do we say that? Well, when we have our profitable trades, and you can see here's a nice VS trade set up here. If I right mouse click on the red cell bar, do analysis, you can see again there's our correct position sizing would have taken you in down to the first target there, and here the profit would have been 6 times greater than the initial risk. In other words, this profit would have been 6 times greater than the loss we had earlier. There was a potential buy setup here, but was there any reason to reverse from your current short trade into a long trade? No, there wasn't, because if we look at the color of our MTP trend on that blue buy bar, it was actually black. In other words, it was actually no trend. So there's no reason to want to swap from a profitable short trade into a long trade when our MTP trend is just black. The market then carried on down and into that first target there for a nice 6.2R profit. We had another VS sell setup here. If I right mouse click on the red sell bar, which is there, do analysis, you can see the market has just this second reached the decision point target, which is the DP off the prior swing low there. This time it would have been a nice 7R profit. Notice how this time you'd only been short one contract, where it was short 3 before, again keeping your initial risk small and constant. But here it would have been a plus 7R profit, so a very, very good trade. So what is a VS setup? Well, if I clear everything off and let's go back and have a look at this one, I'll have a look at our VS indicator down here, which shows you bars that are making up an unusually high volume on bars that make a wide range going beyond previous levels. If I use our training mode, go back to here, let's step forward. We step forward one bar. Can you see how this bar here has now gone beyond this previous high, actually gone beyond that high there as well, had unusually high volume. We now look to the next bar. The next bar was a red sell bar, but more importantly it unfolded, if I go back to this previous high, at the decision point from the previous high. If I drag that across, can you see that? So there's the previous high. This bar goes through it. In fact, if I put a high tag on here, you can see it even clearer. There's your high tag, so that's the high. Can you see how this bar's gone through it, gone into our major DP resistance, failed to follow through, given us a red sell bar? That indicates that the high volume on this bar was not buying, as most amateurs would suspect, on a break above a previous high. It's actually selling by professionals. Why is that? It's because the market has failed to follow through. In other words, failed to carry on to new highs. Our decision point gives us an area of where the professionals tend to reverse the market, and from here we're anticipating the market's going to make a sharp move down. Just clear everything off, put our analysis on, right mouse click, do analysis. Again, there's our target, there's our correct position sizing, all for our initial risk kept small and tight and under control. Here's our target, the DP from the previous low down there. And as you can see, this is all on the chart as soon as that red sell bar has been completed. If I now turn training mode off, we go back and we can see that's what happened. The market went down, hit the first target there, where a nice plus 6.2R profit was available. Exactly the same thing happened here. If I clear everything off, clear all, the market, just take that high tag off. Now I'll put the high tag on off this pivot here. You can see this bar here gave us a red high volume indication on our volume indicator down here. It was going through the previous high level. If I now take a DP off here, remember these decision point levels can be placed on the chart in advance. What do I mean by that? If I clear everything off, again if I use our training mode to jump back to here, even before the market got there, as it was crossing that previous level, you could have gone back to here and place the DP on the charts. You could see in advance this was an area of where you wanted to be wary or ready for a potential reversal. Our MTP trend is black, indicating that a reversal could indeed unfold. In other words, there was no particular trend. We then turn training mode off, and as you can see, the next bar failed to follow through, which was here. If I right mouse click, do the analysis on that, there's your trade set up down into the target, which is just reached, and this time the profit would have been 7 times greater than initial risk. So a very, very nice trade indeed. We had another VS setup here. MTP trend has gone black, so this is one you could take as well. If I right mouse click, do analysis, that would be the potential trade setup there. Of course, now this is quite late in the day for the DAX, so whether you want to take this trade and have to sit in it for a while, of course you might not have enough time for that to unfold, so this might be one you want to basically pass. And also, can you see how here it's told you that the risk is exceeded? This is another good thing about our MTPredictor tool. It doesn't allow you to, or rather it tells you when the initial risk is too great. In other words, it doesn't get you into silly positions, because if this trade goes wrong, it means you'll be losing $420, which is greater than your 2% of your $20,000 account. Therefore, it tells you the risk is exceeded. In other words, this trade here is too risky or too big or too large for your current trading account. This is another good thing. It allows you to keep your initial risks small and under control, and not to get into silly trades where if the losses come through, which of course they will come through, you lose more than you should do. So risk control software. Let's clear everything off and take that off there as well. So a good example of our VS or volume spike setup, that's a new trade setup in our MTPredictor version 8 that's due out fairly soon now. We're just beta testing it. That's also currently available in our NinjaTrader 7 add-ons and our NinjaTrader 8 add-ons. And as you can see, it caught a couple of very nice trades today on the 3-minute chart of the DAX.